Welcome to IELTS 9 Pro. This is the second in our series of writing webinar, seminars, presentations, etc. So as you remember, last week we were looking at how to write an introduction. So for this week now, we're going to look at how to write a body paragraph. So let's get started. We'll just get this, there we go. All right. So let's have a quick review of last week. So we were talking about how to write an introduction and the structure. Sentence one, you paraphrase the topic using the 4 different ways: synonyms, changing word order, changing the form of the word, active to passive, etc. Sentence 2, answer the question. In other words, thesis, or give your opinion, depending on how the question is worded. Sentence 3, which I recommend, always give an outline sentence, as in what's your 2 main ideas, the paragraphs. What you don't want is, this essay will discuss both views, I will give reasons in the following paragraphs, etc. That's no good. Simply, outline your 2 main ideas, what you intend to say. So let's get on with first, what do the examiners want? Well, we'll compare the criteria for a band 6 and an 8. So you have to address all parts of the task. In other words, all parts of the prompt. A well-developed response with relevant, as in not off topic, extended and supported set of ideas. If you compare 8 to a 6, band 6 only partially addresses the task. The format may be inappropriate and the position may not be as clearly developed as it could be. The main ideas could be limited, again, not sufficiently developed. So the quality of the ideas themselves is not important. They can be quite boring, in fact. However, that's not what's being assessed here. What's being assessed here is, can you develop them by giving good, clear reasons and examples? So what do they want? Well, your ideas must actually relate. I mean, this, again, it seems an obvious point, but I have to explain this several times a day, every day. Your ideas must actually pertain, relate, or be connected specifically to the topic or question. I was just reading a couple of essays from a couple of students in the channel, and they just don't. They write about the topic, but not the specific question. So you have to explain and then give specific examples. The criteria says, write 250 words, give reasons and examples. So let's take a look. Sentence 1, the topic, the main idea, a short sentence that briefly introduces the subject of your paragraph, your 1 main idea, in other words. Then you have to expand on that, explain it. Sentence 3, a specific, clear example. Now, this is just a general guide. As we know, writing is a process. So it's possible that under pressure of the examination, you may have to develop and explain your ideas a little bit more, maybe with a 3rd sentence, maybe a 4th. Your example may be sentence number 4, for instance. However you do it, you need to introduce what the main idea is, give some explanation of it, and give a specific example. So the same for paragraph 2. Your topic sentence, explain it, example. So there's only 2 ideas in an essay, essentially. So let's take a look at the different question types now. So advantage and disadvantage. So for the paragraph advantages, state the advantage, explain why it's an advantage, and give an example. And sentence 4, give a result or consequence of why it's an advantage. Disadvantage, again, this is a disadvantage. It's a disadvantage because, for example, this is a disadvantage, blah, blah, blah. As a consequence, we can see that this is a disadvantage. It's that simple. Now, it's a formula, yes, but, you know, this is what the examiner is asking for. So, discuss both views. State your first view, discuss it, give a reason why you agree or disagree, and then an example. The opposite view. However, some people think they think it because I don't agree with what they think because, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4. Easy. Problems, the solutions, getting to the two-part questions now. What's the problem? Explain why. What's a consequence? For example. What's the solution? Why is it a solution? Example. It's easy, that simple, sentence by sentence. Now, when I keep saying in the groups, keep it simple, I mean keep it simple in terms of structure. I'm not talking about simple in terms of grammar or vocabulary, no. But in terms of structure, introduction, paragraph 1, paragraph 2, conclusion, one main idea, sentence 1, 2, 3, 4, that's what I'm talking about. Just, you know, there's no need to make things overly difficult or complicated. So, two-part questions. Answer the first question directly. Explain why. Explain more if you need to. Example. Answer question 2. Explain why. Explain more if required. Maybe you need to develop your example. However, that's how it works. Now, let's take a look at some good and bad examples. So, question 1. There are many different types of music in the world today. Okay. Why do we need it? Is the traditional music more important than international music? So, here's a good one. So, you can see the difference between the sentences in color. Green, sentence 1, blue, sentence 2, etc. So, the introduction of music provides a light-hearted and amusing way to interact with another language and culture. So, you briefly answered the question. To be more precise, music has a profoundly positive effect on academic achievement. Explain it a little bit more. As kids, we're taught songs by our parents and teachers as a means of learning a language. An example can be seen in a study in the University of Tehran, in which high school students, etc., etc. So that's pretty straightforward, nice and simple. We've got one idea. Music is good because it's a fun way to help people learn a language and culture. What does that mean? Explanation, example. Now, let's see a bad example. Now, you'll see in bold the discourse markers. Now, your cohesion and coherence score is affected if your use of cohesive markers is too obvious. Besides, admittedly, consequently, additionally, furthermore, firstly, if you use these in a paragraph, you're not going to be getting a very high score here. So, music is a vital segment of all human lives. Listening to music is psychologically beneficial for us and causes people to feel invigorated and Delighted. Besides extra idea, it's been one of the smartest resolutions for relieving anxiety. Admittedly, the more, oh dear. So you can see this is a bit of a jumble. It's a bit of a jumble. We've got 2 or 3 different things here. There's no clear example. So that would not do. So let's look at some more. The animal species are becoming extinct due to human activities on land and sea. What are the reasons and the solutions? Now here, this is a good example. So you introduce it. Firstly, the need for agricultural land leads to complete eradication of forests and savannas. What does that mean? Time to explain. That is to say, when pesticides or fertilizers are used, these endanger aquatic life forms, etc., etc. For instance, a clear example, according to the Agricultural Department of the University of Tehran, roughly 90%, etc., etc. So, nice and clear. We've got a clarity, right? This is the topic. This is an explanation. Here's a clear example. So let's take a look at another bad example now. Oh dear. This is a paragraph. It's an essay. Dear. Animal extinction seems to have stemmed from several reasons related to human activities, but the density of people is a key factor. Animal disappearance is the most serious, utterly irreversible effect. More people, oh dear, I'm not even going to waste my time. I'll leave it on the screen for a second and you can have a read. There's too much here. There's too much stuff. We've got what? Animal extinction, several reasons. Okay. What reasons? More people. Animal disappearance is bad. Okay. So extinction of species. Oh dear me. The examiner is not going to be happy reading such an example. It's far too long. It's very complicated. Not so good. So let's have a look at another good example. Again, we've got sentence 1, 2, 3, and 4. Using what is known as sustainable agriculture or alternative agriculture, unless what is known as sustainable agriculture or alternative agriculture is applied, the entire existence of the animal kingdom is at stake. Okay? What are we talking about? These methods range from organic farming to genetic engineering. An example can be seen in the suburban area of Tehran where farmers use, etc. So again, we've got a clear idea, developed, extended. Okay, now let's take a look at another bad example. To help address the problem of the impact of population growth and the extinction of animals, oh dear, the most important thing we as individuals can do might be choose to have fewer children. It seems that having more child will double our footprint. Worldwide government should educate birth control, especially to the youth. Some population control proponents propose offering financial incentive. Oh dear, dear. Well, there is a main idea. There's too many people, but there's no development, there's no clear example. It's a bit of a jumble. So that's not so good. That's not what we need.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.